Welcome, Valpo fans, to another edition of the Valpo Coaches Show brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today, the head coach of the Valpo volleyball program, Carin Avery. Coach Avery, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here.
The regular season wrapped up for your team earlier this week. You're getting ready for the MVC Tournament. We'll touch on that in a bit. Just want to look back at the last couple weeks of the regular season for you guys. You go on the road 2 weekends ago. You go 5 sets with the second place team in the league. You come home, you get 2 wins to get into the tournament. Then you have another 5 set match with the third place team. Just what's your assessment on how the team's been playing over these last couple weeks?
Yeah, that middle of the season into the season two of the longest road trips that we had kind of hurt us a little bit. It wasn't easy. Those, a 10-hour plus bus ride and then a 6-hour bus ride back to back was not easy on our young team. And I'm not making any excuses. I thought they handled it really well. Um, Excited to get out of there 1-3. And then, like I said, moving forward to the next couple weeks of play, I just think if you've looked at our team in these last few weeks and you go back to the start of the season, we have just made some really remarkable strides in all aspects of the game. And that's what you hope for as a coach, right? That all this hard work and practice and the process, you're sticking with the process, you're hoping the process pays off, and we have seen it pay off for sure.
Your libero, junior Emma Hickey, we got to see her reach the 2,000 dig milestone for her career in the regular season finale. Quickest to get there in program history and tied for the fastest in Valley history. And I know you talked about earlier this year, obviously, she's always had the dig numbers, how she wanted to improve her serve receive. We look at that department this year, her reception errors are down over half from last year. Just how exciting has it been to see her continue that strong libero tradition here?
We talk about it all the time, Aaron, but every, libero that comes in, we're like, wow, there's just no way they're going to beat that record. There's just no way they're going to beat that record. And here she goes, beating that record. And, and not only our program, which is a super high level to achieve just in digs, for a career in our program alone with the past successes of our liberos, but then you look at the Missouri Valley, who's had unbelievable liberos come through in the last decade. And so what she has done to tie the Missouri Valley record, it's unbelievable. And like you said, I guess when you're talking about liberos, you always look at digs, right? And digs per set. But I think, like you notice, her whole game improved this year. She had a confidence about her this year that was so much different than last year. And it's not only her, like you talked about, our digs and her passing, but it's just all the little stuff she does. It's all the little intangibles. When you sometimes stats don't reflect the impact a player makes, and I think you see that in Emma's overall game, just the little things she'll do here and there for us that are big points and game changers and momentum changers for us, that she does on a daily for us. It is remarkable, and I'm super happy for her, so proud of her, for coming this way, this long, yeah, I guess coming from last year, the change she had made to this season is big, and I'm so excited for her, that she was able to, achieve that record that really she wanted really bad. And hopefully we can continue to go a few more games here, and then she can keep racking up the digs.
Talked a bit earlier this year about the entirety of the freshman class and what key contributors they have been and how many of them have contributed. I want to touch on a couple of them who've really stood out this year. And the first one, actually in her second season on campus here, Jessica Pickett. In the middle, she was recovering from injury last year, had to sit out. She comes in this year. She's had far and away the most blocks by a freshman in your time here. Will have the best hitting percentage by a freshman as well in your time. How exciting is it for you to see her have this sort of major impact after having to sit out last year and recover?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, super excited for Jess. I think obviously you look at her size at 6'6", and our tallest player in school history, but it's okay, you're 6'6". You still have to be pretty darn good to get those numbers, right? And she has a very high volleyball IQ. And I think that's something in her position, maybe that doesn't come, people might not recognize that or notice that, but her IQ is so unbelievably high. She's very thoughtful about the process and what she does. And so that's why she's had such unbelievable numbers this year. And again, as a freshman, right? She's throwing these big numbers out. And so again, even just having a spring, last year, yeah, she was here and yeah, she redshirted, but she didn't get a fall or a spring. She was hurt the entire time. So she literally came in as basically a freshman this year with the freshmen in our system. So I'm so excited to see her progress that she's going to make even after one spring with us. And like the sky's the limit for her. But she really has made, we won a few games this year, I would say, because she was able to intimidate and kind of shut down some of the big hitters that we've had in the Valley. And it's just made a really big difference in terms of sets won and matches won this year. Her presence, I think, directly affects people and how they hit.
Over a little bit at the net from the middle to the right side, Ava Helming, what a presence she's been in her freshman year. Second on the team this year in both kills and blocks. Both of those numbers rank among the top six in freshman in your tenure here. I think you really look at the impact she's had. You look at your wins in Valley play and what she's done, hitting over
Yeah.
370 in wins in Valley play with over 3 kills per set. Can you just touch on her performance this year and how key she's been to your success?
Yeah, we needed a big arm on the pin and we got one, in Ava. And like you said it, right? When you look at our wins, there's a direct correlation in how she's doing. Like you said, over 3 kills per set, hitting over a 300 in all of our wins. So she's definitely somebody that we want to get the ball to, that we need to get the ball to in pressure situations. And you know what? She has actually come a very long way from from preseason into conference play. In preseason, her numbers in the red zone were pretty low. And so when the game was on the line, she needed to kind of find her confidence and kind of find her rhythm. And her numbers, like I said, have changed significantly from preseason to now where we're at in conference play. And because of that, I think that you've seen, right? Like you've seen us mistake manage a little better. And she's one that has really found her rhythm and learned how to manage her mistakes in the collegiate level. Like when you come in as freshmen, you don't, the shots that we're working in club and in high school aren't working anymore. And so she's had to find a little different rhythm. And, she's kind of been with Mara Thomas all year as her setter in that 6-2 offense. And they've really clicked. Again, kind of after that preseason, they started really clicking. I think you've seen that in their play. They have just done an amazing job kind of coming together and figuring out her tempo and where she likes her sets. And so you got to give Mara a lot of credit too for giving her some great balls here in the last few months.
Well, it's off to the MVC tournament this weekend, and I want to give you the chance to first reflect on something I know you're proud of, qualifying for the conference tournament, whichever conference we've been in every year in your time here. And don't worry, I won't say exactly how many that is. But all 8 seasons in the Missouri Valley, you look at the step up when we joined the Valley, made it all 8 seasons, the only Valley program to qualify for the tournament each of the last 8 years. Just what does it say about the players who have come through the program that you've been able to maintain this level of consistency year in, year out?
Yeah, it's bittersweet a little because I'm very, very competitive and not winning the whole team, or the whole thing this year with the team. You know, it, it, it kind of hurts and stings a little bit not to make the NCAA tournament, but obviously we've done, very well. We've made postseason play the last several years, and so that's a big compliment to our program. But it's really, really hard to sustain success in any program in any sport. And I wish I had the the magic pill of how we've done it, but I really feel like it's been really great staff. We've had great players who really, again, we talk about the process, like they wanted to come here for a reason, and we've tried really hard to stick through the process. We have a really nice culture. We get really good kids from really great families, and they come and they really enjoy their time here. And I just think at the end of the day, when some programs are kind of sliding downward, we're kind of sliding upward, because we have kids that really enjoy playing with each other and they really enjoy each other. And I think when you love what you do, it's easy to come into practice every day, even when you don't want to, and it's easier to grind things out in the process of a really long Division I season. And that's what I try to tell people, I think, is our key to our success over these last 23 years. But again, super proud of everybody that's gone through this program. Like I said, from assistant coaches to managers to trainers to players. I just think we've had people that have really loved being with one another, and we've been able to sustain a level of a little bit of success.
This year's tournament, you guys are the sixth seed starting on Saturday against seventh seeded Murray State. UIC would await in the second round, Drake in the semifinals before a potential title match. We've seen your team this year. They have the ability to play right with and
Yeah.
take sets from anyone in the Valley. What do you see as the keys for your team if you want to make a run this weekend?
100%, even though we've gotten way better at it this season, it is for us, it's mistake management. When you look back at, the games that we did go five with these top programs, there was we would get to 5-5, 6-6 in that fifth set, and then all of a sudden, we would make one mistake or two mistakes, and then they capitalized on it. And that's what really, really great teams do. And so we're so close. We just got to take one game at a time. We got to kind of mistake manage a little bit. We've got to shut down, I think, some key players on Murray State's team. And then if we're lucky enough to go forward, we're lucky enough just to play UIC. And I think there's some things we can do just a little bit better after just playing them this past week. And, we're really excited. I think, again, we've had a really great year, and that, like I said, the progress we've been making, I'm super proud of. And so we're just going to hopefully keep rolling.
The Valley Tournament this weekend, starting on Saturday from Cedar Falls, Iowa. Murray State at 6 p.m. with a win. UIC on Sunday at 6 p.m. Semifinal would be against Drake Monday at 6 p.m. And then the title match would be Tuesday at 4 p.m. All those matches on ESPN Plus. Coach Avery, safe travels and best of luck at the tournament.
Thank you.
This has been the Valpo Coaches Show brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.